Running a business is a tough job, and having partners makes it tougher. The key to partners, really, and MIT has shown this, is the best number is 3 or 4 people who have an equity ownership in the company. But, and this is the caveat, somebody has to be in charge. So you got to choose up and have a captain, and that's the deal. At some level, it doesn't matter too much who it is, it has to be somebody. But that person's vision will come to dominate the company. Picture an infield in a baseball diamond, and that's the best way to look at partners. You have 4 guys. You don't want 4 in first or 4 in third. You want them spread out. So the problem in companies is engineers like each other, so they got 4 guys over at third base. Nobody's selling, nobody's making anything, but they're sure doing a lot of inventing. Or you've got 4 sales guys, nobody's making anything, nobody's inventing anything. So you got a problem. One of the reasons that American Power has succeeded in the UPS business is our first opening team of 4 people consisted of a project leader who had been at Lincoln Labs and done very well. So he was kind of the quarterback out there at shortstop. We had a guy at third who was the cleanup man, and he could get the high, fast one coming down the line. And he was the cleanup guy who would clean up the problems and make sure the product was right. And then we had the guy at second base who was the genius. And he kind of sat out there and thought up ideas. He and the third baseman worked all day together, neither one competing for resources. One thought, one cleaned it up. The project leader bossed them both. And then I was in sales and marketing. And nobody wanted anything to do with that because that was the last thing they wanted to do, so they let me alone. So we had a balanced team. The problem with partners is not a matter of individual personalities as much as it is structural. You have people who all want to do the same thing, and nobody wants to do the other tasks that need to be doing. So you need balance. That means it's better if you aren't best of buddies. My first business at Cross River, our problem in the umbrella company is I was drafted into the production area because my lawyer friend wanted to do sales and marketing too. I've been a sales and marketing guy at General Foods. I didn't need any help there, but he wouldn't go there. So we were always having a tug. It was a problem. Now the next thing about that with problems is then everybody that works for you doesn't know who to go to. In American Power it's very simple. Cleanup, Manny, genius, Neil, and he went right down the line. The structure is clear who you talk to. So when you're evaluating this, make sure there's balance. Make sure they're involved for future goals. Investigate who they are. And above all, somebody's got to be the boss. If you can't decide who's the boss, close the business. You're just walking around to save funeral expenses. It won't work. The corporate name is a very important thing that people miss. I think this is very, very important. FDR has a lot to answer for alphabetical societies. And you see a lot of joke names from computer nerds, like Yahoo, things like that. Really stupid names. The point is you don't want a name that people will laugh at. Not a good idea. Picture somebody writing a purchase order to Yahoo. Can you imagine what their boss is going to say? You're going to deal with these guys? Isn't it hard enough to deal with guys that aren't a joke? You need a name that has a certain respectability to it. The second thing, and this is Trout and Reese, it's in the bibliography, that's preemptive generic. In other words, it says what it is. We're CD titles. That means we do CDs and we have titles. Somebody knows what we do. When I did Umbrella, we did Umbrella Stroller. When we did American Power, it was American Power. Had a nice name and you could spell it. That's really important. Save cuteness for your off hours, not here. The other point is you have to incorporate. No matter what you do, it's best to incorporate to protect your liabilities if things go wrong. There are various states to do this in. There are a lot of services that do it. One of the best ones is Laughlin in Wyoming and Nevada, and you should look into this with some due care.